After more than 3 years of waiting, 2 Santa Clarita families will get some closure tomorrow.
This week, the Cougars will return home to face off against Grossmont at 7 p.m. at Cougar Stadium.
But as COC students may have noticed in the Honor Grove earlier this week,
develop people who build better tomorrows.
This is Kelly Price reporting from Vista Valencia for COC News.
How will this affect the rest of the job market?
Welcome to Canyons News.
Live from Mentry Hall, with news from around the Santa Clarita Valley. This is Canyons News.
Tonight on Canyons News, we hear from a grieving mother raising questions after a controversy. Santa Clarita residents hit the streets in protest of the Trump administration. And in the pool, see how one COC swimmer rewrote the Cougar record book. Good evening, I'm Meg Hall. And I'm Leah Pastorio. We begin tonight with the California Highway Patrol investigation, the death of a construction worker in Valencia. The incident happened at construction site on Tuesday shortly after noon. CHP says the construction worker was killed on the job after falling off a work truck and then struck by that same vehicle. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. The incident remains under investigation, but a California Highway Patrol officer spoke on camera about the investigation.
Luckily for us, there's a lot of people here that hopefully observed what happened and can give us some good information, some good statements, and we can put together a pretty concise report about what happened. We'll also look into the vehicle, make sure something didn't fail, like maybe the brakes. We'll also have to talk to some of the passengers that were inside the vehicle and try to determine how the driver ended up outside of the vehicle.
A mother grieving the loss of her son says the Eternal Valley Cemetery where he is buried is adding to her grief. Reporter Julianne Lena has more on the story.
At Newhall's Eternal Valley Cemetery, one mother keeps a special promise, rain or shine.
I come here every day. I mean, I try to be here every day, even when it's raining. I even have a rain suit in the back of my truck.
Maricel Rams makes the drive from Palmdale to Eternal Valley every day because this is where her son is. Her son Gabriel passed away at just 17 years old in December of 2023.
I'm just completely devastated, you know? Gabriel, my son, was my everything. I feel a bunch of mixed emotions. Sometimes I'm angry. It just hurts.
In her grief, she clings to the only thing she can still care for, her son's resting place. But what she found one day left her in shock. Before his headstone arrived, Gabriel's photo, temporarily marking his plot, was found in a dumpster. On another occasion, his decorations were found tossed aside onto another person's grave. When Maricel emotionally reacted and demanded answers from the cemetery's general manager, Noelia Marin, she was met with a restraining order.
What's up, everybody? There's a lady that pressed a restraining order against me and didn't even show up to court when I'm dealing with the murder trial for my son. There's her right here.
Her pain is shared by other families who have also voiced concerns, like mishandled decorations and dead grass due to watering system issues. Despite the pain, Maricel still shows up. She polishes Gabriel's name, not just with care, but with love. We reached out to General Manager Noelia Marin for a statement, but did not receive a response.
Man, I just hate this. You know what I mean?
With photographer Christopher Casey.
Man, I just miss him so much.
I'm Julianne Lena, reporting for Canyons News.
A mixed-use development project was the center of attention during the City Council meeting last night. Tense public comment and debate on the project took up most of the meeting's time. The proposed project would be at the corner of Market Street, Main Street, and Railroad Avenue, and includes a 5-story apartment building with storefronts at the ground level. Completing the project would mean demolishing the Masonic Lodge and courthouse building. Local stakeholders brought up a range of concerns, one of which was parking. The City Council heard from members of a local Alcoholics Anonymous group that would be displaced by current construction plans. Local news station KHST has also expressed wariness that the 52-foot building would impact the station. Extensive public comment from those for and against the project took center stage.
I have a project that's two doors down, Paniolo. I'm not building it if we're going to have some of the things I'm hearing about today. I can't afford to. I can't afford to have to pay the toll for safe passage.
And I'm really upset at the fact that Mac's pool supply is going to be gone. Where else are you going to put it? And Serrano, you don't build a hotel in the middle of Newhall. That is a hotel. That is not apartments.
In the wake of the nationwide hands-off protests, Santa Clarita residents gathered for another protest against the Trump administration. Here's Jack Titer with more.
Last weekend, demonstrators lined across the sidewalks of the Valencia Boulevard and McBean Parkway intersection with signs and chants.
This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
Car horns, bull horns,
What I say, people, you say power, people,
and even French horns.
I want to sound the battle cry.
Santa Clarita residents used these tools to rally behind their displeasure with a number of Donald Trump's policies, such as immigration, tariffs, and government cuts.
You know, old people whose Medicare, Medicaid are going to be cut. It's going to impact all of us because I believe that our lives are interdependent. We live together.
Those who attended the rally believe the Trump administration is abusing its executive power over U.S. citizens.
We got to save democracy today if possible.
Oligarchy is on the rise. The billionaires have cuts. Major tax cuts.
Thousands of protests have been held across the country in recent weeks, all calling for the government to hear their concerns. Reporting for Canyons News, I'm Jack Titer.
The stock market has been experiencing some gains after optimistic comments on a trade deal with China from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. The market saw major losses after uncertainty over President Trump's tariffs. But what exactly is a tariff? Canyons News reporter Christopher Casey tells us more.
I always say tariffs is the most beautiful word to me in the dictionary.
The markets were thrown into chaos as President Donald Trump put tariffs on over 128 nations, including Canada, Mexico, and China. As soon as he put them in action, he hit pause.
We are seeing here a huge spike in stocks.
For many Americans, this may have been their first time hearing the term. But what exactly is a tariff?
So the easiest way to think about tariffs, honestly, is just to think of them as a tax.
As an example, when someone orders shoes from a country like China, you may have to pay 125% more than the original price.
That when you go to Ralph's and you buy groceries and there's a sales tax on it, that Ralph's is paying the sales tax. Ralph's isn't paying the sales tax. They're passing it on to the customers. Tariffs are no different.
As the fear of higher prices increased, protesters vented their outrage at the Stop the Cuts protest this past Saturday in Valencia.
All the things that we import to make these products, the taxes on them, the price of them is going up, and it's hurting our pockets because this administration is doesn't understand how any of this works.
For now, the chance has been given by President Trump for nations to play fair with trade. He has said that this move will help the American people and businesses. But if there is no deal struck...
I'm not an economist, but common sense tells me that the same thing that caused the dip before will cause the dip again. The concerns will be exactly the same.
Much can happen until the July end date for the 90-day pause. For now, we'll have to see how the discussions go. Reporting for Canyons News, I'm Christopher Casey.
Snake season is upon us until October or when the weather cools off. But everyone should be prepared for the unexpected outdoors. Reporter Tracy Maroney explains how you can keep your pet safe when hitting the trails.
As the weather warms up, more hikers are heading out on the trails with their dogs. But they're not the only ones making tracks in the wilderness.
When the air gets minimum temperature at night, gets close to 50, starts consistently being in that temperature, that's when snakes will come break surface and regulate their temperature for a while under items like rocks or boards or things like that.
Southern Pacific rattlesnakes are the most common snake around Santa Clarita. Yet, there are still a lot of misconceptions about them.
Rattlesnakes, people have a bad reputation. They go, they're aggressive. They're not aggressive. They're very defensive, though. They will hold their ground. So if he sees me, he's just going to watch wherever I walk. He's just going to track me because he wants to know what the heck's going on, right?
Dog owners can get some peace of mind with rattlesnake aversion classes, like this one offered by Natural Solutions. Trainers teach dogs to recognize a rattlesnake by smell, sound, and sight, and most importantly, to stay far away.
What was that?
The main thing I want them to take away is that dogs can be, no matter what their personality type, taught to respect and give rattlesnakes the distance they need. Secondarily, I want people to take away that these things aren't these mythical beasts that can launch themselves 10 feet. They're pretty easy to avoid as long as you're paying attention.
Well, we've got 2 dogs, and now we live up in the Antelope Valley, right next to the desert. We are worried about rattlesnakes, so it's good to have some snake awareness.
If you're out exploring this spring, stay alert. And if you come across a rattlesnake, don't panic. Just give it space and move on. For Canyons News, I'm Tracy Maroney.
It's time to dig in, literally and figuratively, as communities plant the seeds for a cleaner, greener planet. This Earth Day, local residents are rolling up their sleeves and getting their hands dirty to make a difference. Jessica Makashima has the story.
This Earth Day, Santa Clarita residents are getting their hands dirty, cleaning up neighborhoods and planting new trees across the city. Volunteers were invited to pick up free cleanup supplies and mulch, then set out into their own neighborhoods to make a difference.
We know that it's not always easy to have gloves and bags, so we wanted to offer the opportunity for people to come and get supplies to make that spring cleaning happen.
In the past year, more than 250 new trees were planted across the city, alongside the trimming of over 19,000 others. Thanks to these efforts, Santa Clarita has held its designation as a Tree City USA for over 35 years. Santa Clarita Mayor Bill Miranda calls protecting these trees a serious business.
For every tree you think you want to cut down, we may make you plant 2 or 3 trees. That's the way we operate.
Residents often notice neglected corners of their communities. With tools and mulch in hand, they're empowered to take action.
This community, I would say, is built, on providing services to the public. Some of these public spaces, we, as a city, can't go and clean up. So it's really, really helpful to be able to have helping hands that come through and clean up some of that trash that we can't get our hands on as quickly as maybe the community can.
That local service and ownership is what makes initiatives like these work.
For me, that's a personal aspect of it that I really, really enjoy, is just seeing how excited people get when they come through and they're able to be an active part of the community.
In Santa Clarita, Earth Day is more than a celebration. It's a community effort with lasting roots. For Canyons News, this is Jessica Makashima.
Disposing of hazardous waste materials properly is not only important for the environment, but for your storage space as well. Reporter Sophia Mistretta has more on how you can properly dispose of your electronic waste.
Over 35 million tons of hazardous waste is thrown away improperly each year. Only a small portion is recovered or recycled, about 1.6 million tons annually. This all ends up in landfills without proper treatment.
A lot of just your household products, you'd be surprised, even the smallest electronics, how they have little bits of, lithium battery or corrosive material inside. So when we put out these events, we have sheets that will pretty much tell you everything that we'll take, and you'd probably be surprised to see what's on a list like that.
The average household generates about 30 pounds of hazardous waste per year, stemming from basements, garages, and storage closets.
If one person turns into how many people, right? You know, you think it's just one battery, but if you're 100, 1,000, 100,000, a million people just throw in one battery, how many people live in LA County, right? You know, 7, 8, 9 million people, just one battery, that's 9 million batteries into not a lot of landfill space left in this county. So just that one battery can make a difference.
Hazardous waste items can include paint, pesticides, cleaning supplies, and automotive fluid, along with electronics such as computers, phones, and TVs. Designated centers or mobile collection events to dispose of these materials are located all around Los Angeles County. It's important that we dispose of our materials properly, like batteries, a common household item. This battery right here holds less than 1 gram of lithium. This battery right here holds over 8,000. I'm Sophia Mistretta, reporting for Canyons News.
Coming up next on Canyons News, Native American culture took center stage on campus.
And a COC swimmer is making history. Stay tuned.
College of the Canyons creates possibilities.
It's a gateway to opportunities.
A place where students learn they can believe in themselves.
Behind every possibility at College of the Canyons are the people.
Together we focus on achieving success, one student at a time.
That focus is a reflection of what we value.
It defines who we are.
We are. We are.
We are College of the Canyons.
The Aquatic Center hosted their yearly Splash and Dash event this Saturday. Reporter Joey Gomez takes us inside the center where local volunteers and Aquatic Center lifeguards came together to give kids a happy Easter.
The Santa Clarita Aquatic Center is no stranger to hosting community events, and this Saturday was no different. They hosted their annual Splash and Dash egg hunt, where parents could bring their kids to the center so they could walk, not run, to grab as many plastic eggs as they could to celebrate Easter a day early. The event offered 2 separate times to foster as many kids as they could, having a start time at 10 and another at 11. They separated the kids into age groups to ensure every kid who showed up got their equal opportunity to grab eggs, and any Easter celebration would be complete without the help of the Easter Bunny. The event was powered by volunteers, where city volunteers would help direct the kids into their age groups. Kaiser Permanente also sponsored the event, providing water-safe bags for the kids to bring to the pool and store their eggs. The event has been happening annually since 2009, but it comes with a greater purpose.
Since this is a free event, we do encourage participants to donate dry and canned goods just for the Santa Clarita Valley Food Pantry, so that is kind of what this event is for.
The egg hunt also could not happen without the Aquatic Center's lifeguards, as they routinely watch over the pool, run the prize tent, where kids could turn in their eggs for prizes, and also help set up and tear down the event. The lifeguards keep the pool safe for kids, but the job also comes with a passion that some people may not realize.
I love being a part of this community and being able to serve this community in ways that I wouldn't be able to outside of this job. And events like today are really great and unique ways to get to do that and to be able to interact with kids and get them excited to be here, and who knows, maybe some of them will be our lifeguards one day as well.
For Canyons News, I'm Joey Gomez.
Santa Clarita's Cowboy Festival made its annual return, bringing the spirit of the frontier back to life.
From trick roping to trail barbecue, the 2025 Cowboy Festival lassoed thousands of visitors this weekend at William S. Hart Park. It's a celebration of Western heritage that brings the community together, one cowboy hat at a time.
We've been anticipating this. My friend sent it to me a couple weeks ago. We've been just really excited to come through to the event. One thing I was anticipating was being around people who also love country and cowboy. That's one of my favorite things. And personally, what I'm looking forward to is meshing city and cowboy together, and God willing, doing something special with that.
Whether you're a fan of country music, cowboy culture, or just looking for some good barbecue, there's something for everyone here at the Cowboy Festival. And judging by the turnout, the spirit of the West is still riding strong here in Santa Clarita.
There's a lot of people that have come by and they're like, oh, this feels like I'm back in the past. And so that's kind of our whole thing. For the most part, we try and represent it pretty much as it would be of the time period, which is why we've gone through pretty much getting all the gear and trying to make ourselves look as accurate to what it would be.
The dust may settle after the weekend, but for many, the memories and maybe the cowboy hats will stick around all year. This is Leah Pastorio reporting for Canyons News. At College of the Canyons, the heartbeat of Native American culture is resonating powerfully. Reporter Terry Collier takes us to where a movement is growing to celebrate heritage and build bridges.
Music filled the air with rich narratives of history and culture.
At COC, we have almost 600 Native American students on campus, and it's so important for them to feel part of the campus community.
Sam Sierra, a College of the Canyons biotechnology student, had an idea and presented it to the Native American Indigenous Alliance at COC.
I needed to represent powwow culture and what powwows are to the people. But it's not just to represent Native American communities, but it's also to encourage all races, ethnicities, and genders to, know their culture, know where they come from. That's the whole point.
These ceremonial songs has its distinct style of tradition and healing. Emotions through movement, like the jingle dress, brings healing and spiritual connection. With California having the largest Native American population in the U.S., the Native American Indigenous Alliance hopes that the community will connect and experience a ceremonial powwow here in Southern California.
You don't have to be Native American to know where you come from. Because if you know where you come from, you don't get lost down the road.
For Canyons News, this is Terry Mitchell-Collier.
Now turning to entertainment, MEA professor by day, award-winning filmmaker by night, Bhavan Karim is taking his impressive acumen in Hollywood and sharing it with COC students on a daily basis. We go live to reporter Victoria Suarez for a special interview with Bhavan.
Thanks, Meg. We're here with MEA filmmaking professor Bhavan Karim. We're here to gain some insights on his experience and in his latest projects. Thank you for being here and welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. So to start right in, after being here for a couple years, what's it been like for you starting out as a film professor here at College of the Canyons?
It's a great place to be. This is one of the largest and best funded colleges in California. And in terms of the film program, there's a lot I think the students that enroll here can get excited about, not just in terms of the classes are challenging, but we offer a lot outside of class as well. There's a film club here, there's film and animation festivals. We bring in people from around the community to talk to our students, and we're producing our own TV series in-house. So there's a lot to connect the campus to the community.
Of course. Well, through your experience in journalism and in the film industry, what kind of values and lessons do you teach your students here?
My pedagogy leans toward entrepreneurship. So I think the important aspects for that are strong critical thinking skills, creative problem-solving skills, a diversification of a student's own skill set in terms of having flexibility to meet the demands of the market. And then we talk about the necessity for understanding what's coming and what the future holds for whatever particular niche of the industry you're in. So the entrepreneurship and the critical thinking skills are probably the two most important aspects of modern filmmaking.
Of course. Speaking of filmmaking and creativity, your newest project, The Valley, follows the story of a college student. Why did you choose College of the Canyons as a place to film your upcoming miniseries?
The college, you know, it offers an abundance of different locations. There are the traditional, you know, concrete buildings that have the brutalist type of style. Mm-hmm. There are steel and glass buildings. Hasley has a water feature. It has a patio where you can push a table up against the treetops, right? The campus offers a lot of variety. So we look to take advantage of that and use a little bit of creativity and ingenuity to dress the spaces however we want. Besides that, the lighting on the campus is well designed, particularly in the evening. There's a mix of lighting, including sodium ion lighting, that adds a lot of character to the spaces. And then the school is the natural setting for our story, which is about a homeless student.
Yeah. Speaking of homelessness and the economic issues, why do you think it's important to share this story of a student that falls victim into student homelessness?
Well, it was an actual homeless student who inspired this story. There are several students, you know, who live on campus and around campus, and if you're here early in the morning or late in the evening, you'll spot them. And I was moved by those students, and I just tried to put myself in their shoes and imagine some of the challenges that they must face trying to balance, you know, their education with the demands of adulthood, and then also not having a place to live and not having the stability that is typically afforded to, you know, a student. So that's really what inspired the story. And I thought that a lot of the students here and a lot of our intended audience would identify with that struggle.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. That's a beautiful message. It's amazing. To wrap this up, where can we find the show? Where can we watch The Valley?
It's going to be on SCV TV, Santa Clarita Valley Television, which is the public access station available here in the Valley. It serves about 300,000 households in the Valley and about 500,000 in greater Los Angeles. And so it'll be on television and on their streaming networks. So we're very excited. The show should premiere in September.
Amazing. All right. Thank you so much for being here. That concludes our interview for today. Back to you to the studio.
Thanks, Victoria. Choosing a major can be a stressful decision. College of the Canyons hosted an event where students could explore what the college has to offer to try and make the decision a little easier. Reporter Michael Garcia has the story.
It was a day full of energy, excitement, and opportunity as students gathered for this year's Discover Day, an event held last Saturday at College of the Canyons. The event is designed to give incoming students a look of all the programs, student services, and clubs the school has to offer for the community.
All of the academic programs, all of the student services, student clubs, to come out and do information tables. We also organize workshops, so any of the academic departments or student services that want to present information as well. Got to book the rooms, the food, the music, you know, all of that. So, and the marketing too is part of it. So marketing it out to the community so they know to come and join us for a free day of fun and information.
From anthropology, theater, culinary arts, and fire technology, every booth gave visitors a chance to explore something new and connect with the school. With interactive booths and plenty of friendly staff, the event was more than just informative. It was fun and engaging for everyone.
The main goal of the event is to have attendees, prospective students and families mainly, come and learn a little bit more about College of the Canyons to figure out if College of the Canyons is right for them to start their education or advance their career.
One student, Matthew from Saugus High School, shared what stood out to him the most during the event.
The most interesting thing that I've seen so far is that there's a lot of options and majors here. And like there's kinesiology, there's medical, EMT, it's a lot of like nursing stuff, a lot of video stuff. It's awesome here.
As the day wrapped up, students left with not only more knowledge, but also a stronger connection to campus life. For Canyon News, I'm Michael Garcia.
There are many opportunities here at COC for faculty and students to wind down and decompress. A group of faculty members have started a unique way to do so. Canyons News reporter Emily Veramontes shares more.
Here at College of the Canyons, faculty must fulfill their flex requirement, ensuring that they engage in professional development activities equivalent to the amount of time they spend in class. This includes wellness activities and the development of new instructional materials. So what did the faculty choose to do? Pickleball.
Pickleball's just gotten more popular, so quite a few of us just decided let's try out the game and play. And then we decided why not we perhaps do it as a professional development we call flex at the college.
Though attendance varies weekly, each professor who can make it enjoys these 2 set hours of play.
We all have fun, we all cheer each other on. It's a good stress reliever. We're outside, we're getting exercise, and I think people need that. And this is non-pressure.
Check the rule book.
Soccer player too, is that?
It's certainly a stress reliever and fun, and you get to meet, your colleagues and new people. And I think it's always a good thing to have physical activity and exercise.
Which chemistry do you primarily teach?
I teach a lot of Chem 2, like Chem 2.
Well, the professors use the campus's tennis courts with their own nets and improvised lines. They hope to get an actual pickleball court soon and are looking to serve up more fun.
We're playing on tennis courts, but we've got lines that are fading away from chalk and tape. If the college wanted to have a pickleball court and maybe a class or something of that sort, I have no doubt the enrollment for that would fill up many sections. And then hopefully that can lead to having designated pickleball courts, painted lines.
For Canyons News, I'm Emily Viramontes.
The Cougar Swim and Dive will be competing at the state championships in Santa Rosa starting next week. Today we meet the swimmer who found out today he just missed qualifying for the state meet. But as I found out, his relentless drive in the pool still sets the tone for a bright future.
Talented, humble, and determined are just a few words to describe this Canyon swimmer. Because according to his coach, he represents that and more.
You see that determination, you see that preparation before every meet and every race.
Representing the Cougar Swim and Dive is Sebastian, a College of the Canyons freshman who has already made history for the program.
When I had joined the COC team, I had already known that those records were a possibility. All three. I had the record in the 50-yard breast, 100-yard breast, 200-yard breaststroke, and I had already known that I could go those.
As of last weekend, this marks the third time Sebastian has reset the school's swim record for the 100-yard breaststroke this season. With a time of 58.69 seconds, it not only broke the school's original record for the event, but marked a personal best for him as well, already surpassing his previous time of 59.98 seconds, which landed him in second place at the Pasadena City College Invitational Meet.
And so it wasn't really a matter of how, it was more when.
But Sebastian's performances isn't just beating school records. The allegations against community college athletics where some argue that competition at this level is overlooked.
We're working just as hard as the D2, D3, D1 during the season, depending on the athlete, depending on the event they're swimming. They're swimming the same events as regular colleges. It should be well deserved to get these kids noticed and again to showcase, what community college can do.
Seeing my competition in these meets with other people from other community colleges, there's definitely a lot of real competition from other athletes in community college.
And while the lanes may be the same length at every pool, it's clear that Sebastian is proving greatness doesn't care where it starts, only how far it's willing to go. For Canyons News, I'm Meg Hall.
That does it for this edition of Canyons News. I'm Meg Hall. Remember, you can catch us on the web at canyonsnews.com.
You can also send us news tips and story ideas to our Twitter handle, canyonsnews_COC, and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Have a good night, everybody.